What in the world? Every single day, $7.5 trillion flows through global payment systems, and it's all about to change forever. While everyone's distracted by the latest meme coin drama and ETF announcements, the most massive financial infrastructure overhaul in half a century is happening right under our noses. And here's the kicker: almost nobody's paying attention. Think about this: $7.5 trillion. That's the actual daily foreign exchange turnover according to the Bank for International Settlements' latest survey, representing the lifeblood of global payments, trade settlements, and cross-border money flows. Right now, institutions worldwide are quietly preparing to completely rewire this entire system using breakthrough digital assets, revolutionary messaging protocols like ISO 20022, and distributed ledger technology that delivers lightning-fast speed, crystal-clear traceability, and bulletproof trust guarantees. This isn't speculation, this is systematic evolution in action. Buckle up, financial institutions are orchestrating a massive exodus from outdated infrastructure that's been limping along for decades. We're talking about Swift's archaic messaging protocols and those painfully slow, multi-layered correspondent banking networks that make international transfers feel like sending mail by horseback. The destination: an entirely new era featuring instantaneous settlement, programmable digital money, and seamless cross-border connectivity that works 24/7. And guess what's driving this transformation? It's not Ethereum with its sky-high gas fees. It's not Bitcoin with its energy debates. It's three institutional-grade digital assets that were built specifically for this moment: XRP, XLM, and XDC. Now pay close attention, because the IMF, World Bank, and Bank for International Settlements have been incredibly transparent about their game plan. Through countless research papers and high-level conferences, they're actively championing tokenized commercial bank deposits, fully regulated CBDCs, interconnected payment networks, and tokenized real-world assets that can move at the speed of light. But here's where it gets wild: they're not trying to blow everything up. Instead, they're methodically upgrading existing systems, ensuring that regulatory compliance, massive scalability, and seamless interoperability remain absolutely non-negotiable throughout the transition. This is precisely why XRP, XDC, and XLM have positioned themselves dead center in this financial revolution. The silent architecture revolution. Let me break it down for you. The BIS Project Icebreaker is currently running live tests connecting retail CBDCs across Israel, Norway, and Sweden, achieving sub-second cross-border settlements that would make traditional banks weep with envy. Meanwhile, Project Dunbar successfully demonstrated direct multi-CBDC transactions between Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, and South Africa, processing over $22 million in real cross-currency trades. The Digital Dollar Project isn't just theorizing anymore. They're running actual post-trade settlement pilots with major clearing houses. Over 130 countries are actively exploring CBDCs, and they all share one critical requirement: ISO 20022 compatibility and blockchain-agnostic messaging frameworks. And here's the twist: we're watching a completely new financial backbone being constructed in real time, piece by piece, behind closed doors. From FedNow's instant payment infrastructure launching across America to Swift's completed ISO 20022 migration as of November 2025 to Project Enbridge connecting wholesale CBDCs across multiple continents, the evidence is overwhelming. This represents a controlled, precisely coordinated rollout of tomorrow's financial paradigm, and retail investors have absolutely no idea it's already happening. This changes everything about how we think about digital assets. The conversation has completely shifted from price speculation to infrastructure positioning. The tokens that perfectly mirror this new infrastructure, the ones being rigorously tested, officially adopted, and systematically integrated by central banks and major financial institutions, are XRP, XLM, and XDC. They're not preparing for some distant future. They're already deeply embedded in today's transformation, woven directly into the system's fundamental DNA. That massive $7.5 trillion daily value flow is about to be completely rerouted through new channels. Those who understand exactly where it's heading aren't gambling, they're strategically positioning. Here's the kicker about XRP: it was never designed to be just another cryptocurrency. From day one, this was engineered as critical financial infrastructure. XRP serves as Ripple's revolutionary solution to the ridiculously outdated and expensive correspondent banking model that's been holding back global finance for decades. Traditional systems demand pre-funded accounts scattered across multiple jurisdictions, those nostro/vostro accounts that lock up literally trillions in idle capital, earning nothing while inflation eats away at value. XRP completely eliminates this inefficiency by functioning as a universal bridge currency, enabling near-instantaneous international transfers without any pre-funded account requirements. This isn't theoretical. Over 300 financial institutions are already leveraging RippleNet, including major players like SBI Holdings, Santander, and Tranglo. Ripple's on-demand liquidity corridors are processing live transactions right now across Asia-Pacific, Latin America, and the Middle East, with Tranglo alone operating ODL across 25-plus payment corridors. But wait, there's more. Ripple's strategic $250 million acquisition of Medico brought institutional-grade custody infrastructure directly into their ecosystem, while their massive $1.25 billion purchase of Hidden Road expands their reach into prime brokerage and institutional credit markets. This isn't just payment processing anymore, this is comprehensive financial infrastructure integration. Now let me tell you about XDC, the absolute silent powerhouse of trade finance transformation. We're talking about a sector that moves over $19 trillion annually, but has been stuck in the Stone Age with paper documentation, manual verification processes, and settlement windows that stretch for days. The XDC network, built on enterprise-grade hybrid blockchain architecture, delivers a decentralized ledger specifically engineered to digitize trade documents, eliminate fraud, and enable real-time liquidity flows. And here's what's incredible. It's already operational in live regulatory sandboxes across the UK, UAE, and Singapore. XDC has integrated with major initiatives like the Trade Finance Distribution Network, where over 10 global banks and fintech companies are actively tokenizing and settling real trade finance assets. Trade Tech, a major secondary trading platform, has already executed actual tokenized invoice financing flows, not pilot programs, but real money moving through real transactions. The network has processed over 800 million transactions since its 2019 launch, with sub-2-second finality and gas fees under a penny. This is MLETR-compliant digital documentation that aligns perfectly with international trade law requirements. XLM, the compliance revolution. Lightbulb moment. XLM and the Stellar network are taking a completely different but equally brilliant strategic approach. They're laser-focused on compliant asset tokenization, cbdc infrastructure development, and creating seamless retail-to-DeFi integration bridges. With Sorub and smart contracts now live, Stellar enables everything from tokenized microloans to fully programmable CBDCs. The European Central Bank selected XRP Ledger for their digital euro pilot, but Stellar powers Ukraine's e-hryvnia pilot through TASUNBNK, demonstrating real-world CBDC implementation in action. MoneyGram's integration with Stellar created one of the world's largest cash-to-crypto bridges, operating across 180-plus countries. This partnership processed massive transaction volumes while maintaining full regulatory compliance. Meanwhile, Stellar's deep USDC integration enables compliant stablecoin movements across continents. Here's what blows my mind. Institutional wallets holding 110 million XLM grew by 37% over 90 days, while Sorub experienced a 7x surge in enterprise smart contract deployments. That's not retail speculation, that's coordinated institutional adoption. Now here's where it gets wild. These three tokens aren't chasing market trends. They're solving actual trillion-dollar infrastructure problems. Fragmented messaging standards, isolated banking systems, chronic liquidity shortages, and the inability to transfer data and value simultaneously. And they're doing it all while maintaining ISO 20022 compliance, the universal messaging standard that over 11,000 financial institutions worldwide are currently adopting. As of June 2025, 41.2% of SWIFT's cross-border payment traffic already uses native ISO 20022 messaging, up from 0% just 2 years ago. This isn't theoretical development. This is live execution happening right now. The new financial rails are being constructed in real time, and the tokens perfectly aligned with this infrastructure are quietly preparing to facilitate trillions in daily transaction volume. I did not see that coming, but the evidence of live deployment is absolutely everywhere once you know where to look. In Japan, SBI Holdings has built a comprehensive XRP-powered remittance ecosystem spanning multiple Asian markets. SBI Remit operates live ODL corridors connecting Japan with Thailand and the Philippines, processing approximately $1.8 billion in annual remittance volume through XRP liquidity pools. The European Central Bank's digital euro pilot selected XRPL alongside White Network for their 12-month trial involving over 500 financial institutions, with per-transaction limits set at €10,000 for safety during testing phases. XDC Network celebrated its 6th anniversary, having processed 801 plus million transactions since mainnet launch, with institutional wallet integrations through Utila handling $8 plus billion in monthly transaction volume. That just happened. While everyone was watching meme coins pump and dump, the actual financial infrastructure was going live across multiple continents simultaneously. The accumulation signals. Think about this if you're wondering why prices haven't gone parabolic yet. Here's exactly why institutional money moves differently than retail speculation. Major institutions don't front-run retail investors with flashy announcements. They construct infrastructure silently, accumulate positions quietly, and deploy capital with surgical precision. Once the underlying rails are fully operational and the regulatory narrative becomes publicly digestible, they don't tweet about it, they activate it. XDC Network has experienced a 200% plus increase in smart contract deployments since January, representing real infrastructure being tested and deployed at enterprise scale. This includes trade finance dApps, tokenization platforms, and asset distribution systems launching in stealth mode. When Soravan launched its smart contracts layer, XLM's trading volume exploded to $152 million in 24 hours, more than double its historical average. This coordinated activity coincided with MoneyGram integrations, new USDC liquidity channels, and multiple tokenized asset pilots deploying across test regions. XRP demonstrates the clearest accumulation patterns through on-chain analytics. Wallet creation continues increasing even during broader market downturns, while whale wallets holding millions of XRP have grown significantly. Exchange balances simultaneously declined, indicating systematic movement into institutional custody solutions. The closing window. Here's where it gets real. This isn't fear-mongering, it's mathematical reality. By the time XRP reaches double digits, retail investors will be saying, I should have accumulated more. By the time XDC becomes the standard for trade finance tokenization, that news will be ancient history. By the time XLM crosses major price thresholds, billions in tokenized credit will already be flowing through Stellar's infrastructure. The opportunity window narrows not because of hype cycles, but because utility adoption accelerates exponentially. These new financial rails are deploying right now, not in some distant 2030 timeline, not in theoretical white papers, but in live production environments processing real institutional capital. The tokens quietly powering this transformation are XRP for cross-border liquidity, XDC for trade finance infrastructure, and XLM for compliance-driven asset tokenization. Don't wait for mainstream financial media to explain what's happening. By then, the transformation will already. This represents something much bigger than typical market speculation. This is about positioning yourself strategically before the entire system transitions, not scrambling to catch up afterward. XRP delivers unmatched liquidity solutions. XDC powers trade finance digitization. XLM enables compliant tokenization at scale. The $7.5 trillion daily payment system is being completely rebuilt from the ground up, and these three tokens are embedded directly into the new architecture's core functionality. Ignore the market noise and study the underlying infrastructure development. This systematic transformation won't pause to wait for retail adoption cycles. This is exactly the type of fundamental shift that creates generational wealth for those paying attention to infrastructure rather than speculation. Ready to dive deeper into this financial revolution? Smash that like button if this opened your eyes, subscribe for more hidden institutional moves, and drop a comment with which token you think will dominate 2025 XRP, XLM, or XDC. The infrastructure is live, the rails are built, and the only question left is whether you'll position yourself before the floodgates open. Let's build wealth through knowledge, not hype.